with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. She is the clouds up in the clear blue sky. She is the ground beneath my feet. She is the oceans and the falling rain. She is the spark that lights my way. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. She is the clouds up in the clear blue sky. She is the ground beneath my feet. She is the oceans and the falling rain. She is the spark that lights my way. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. She is the clouds up in the clear blue sky. She is the ground beneath my feet. She is the oceans and the falling rain. She is the spark that lights my way. I walk with the goddess. Goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. Goddess, she walks with me. She walks with me. I walk with the goddess. Goddess, she walks with me. She walks with me. I walk with the goddess. Goddess, she walks with me. She is the clouds up in the clear blue sky. She is the ground beneath my feet. She is the oceans and the falling rain. She is the spark that lights my way. I tell you, I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. I walk with the goddess. The goddess, she walks with me. Goddess, she walks with me.
You're listening to Meet the Bands on All Things Pagan Radio, and I'm your host, Linda Ursin. Today I'm talking to Kellianna. Hi Kellianna, and thanks for agreeing to this interview. Could you start by telling us a little bit about yourself?
I live in the northeastern part of the United States. I'm in New England and Massachusetts, a couple hours from the coast. I've been playing music my whole life. About 10 years ago, I started doing music dedicated to the goddess, and that changed things for me pretty dramatically as far as my music career went. It was a good move, I have to say that for sure.
So what do you love to do in your spare time when you do have some?
When I have spare time, let's see, I love to hike. I live on a mountain, and I have a lot of state land around me, state park. And I love to hula hoop, actually. It's one of my passions is hula hooping. A friend of mine teaches hoops, and she got me kind of addicted to it a couple of years ago. I listen to a lot of music. And
Sounds like a lot of fun.
oh, it's so fun. I really love it. It's a great exercise, whether you believe it or not. It's so much fun you don't even realize that you're working out at the same time, which is the best way for me to work out, because if I know it's exercise, I want nothing to do with it.
I'm pretty much the same way. I have never been able to get that hula hoop spinning.
Well, my friend Sue could teach an oak tree to hoop. She knows how to. She taught me how to do it, and I never could do it. And she gave me a collapsible hoop to bring with me to Australia. So I have a hoop that I'm bringing with me, packed in my suitcase.
Do you do anything creative in addition to your music?
I like to sew, actually. I like to sew, so I'll design, clothing and costumes and things like that. I don't do it very often, but in the winter time when I'm, snowed in on the mountain, I like to break out my sewing machine and get creative with fabrics and clothing and designs and things like that.
Do you have a favorite spot up there to relax or meditate in?
Home. Yeah, home. I have this gorgeous cabin on top of this mountain. My town has 850 people in it. It's a tiny little town. Yeah, I'm a homebody. When I'm not out there performing and touring, I'm hard-pressed to leave home. I can stay home for days and weeks at a time and be very happy up here with just me and my dog and my boyfriend, So, yeah, I'm a total homebody, but I have to travel for a living.
Yeah, sounds like you found a good spot.
It's beautiful here. Love it.
I saw on your website that you're a certified teacher of spirit song. Could you tell me a little bit more about that?
Spirit song is a vocal healing practice. I was certified by my mentor and good friend Shauna Carroll. And it's all about finding your voice and, breaking through emotional and physical blocks and illness by sounding and toning. So I do a lot of those workshops out there in the world when I do festivals and conferences and gatherings, and also I teach at shops and different venues along the way. Very, very powerful work, spirit song is. It really is. It's quite transformative for everybody who ever tries it.
You say you do music for the goddess. Do you have a philosophy or vision behind the music? Or is it the dedication?
Well, I guess the songs are very spirit-based. They're very much almost like a ritual. Each little song is almost part of a ritual or an honoring of the god or goddess. Whatever myth I'm talking about in the moment or whatever holiday I'm singing about, there's intention with every chant and song that I write. I feel that there is. And my performances themselves, I set up almost like a ritual. I do an elemental to open it and try to really, weave, intention and magic into the performance, whether I'm recording it or whether I'm doing it live.
Do you have any influences, people you look up to when it comes to music?
Well, when I was a kid, I'm a rock and roll fan all the way, and I'm a big Led Zeppelin fan, I have to tell you, honestly. Another singer that I really love, is Nina Simone. But in, my new life as far as doing the goddess music, a couple of my influences are Shauna Carroll, who wrote a CD called Goddess Chant. And also, she lives in Hawaii now. She was from Massachusetts. And also from the UK, my drum teacher and a good friend of mine by the name of Jonna Runnels, who does a lot of drum and chant. Both of them were very influential on what I'm doing now as far as recording and performance-wise.
Where do you usually gather your inspiration? Is it the holiday at hand or something you see? Or yeah.
All of the above. I get inspired by the stories of myth that I hear. I'll take a piece of a myth and put it to music and try to tell it with my own little flavor. It's also experiential, the sacred sites that I visit. I put songs about the Serpent Mound in southern Ohio, which is a Native American mound, and Avebury and Stonehenge, and these sacred sites that I travel to also can really inspire songs, you know, and also gatherings and rituals and the Wheel of the Year. They kind of come from all over the place, actually.
Have you made any plans to visit Ayers Rock or something like that over in Australia? There are a lot of powerful places down there.
I don't think we're going to get to Ayers Rock this time around. I think we're going to be in a lot, I'm not sure exactly where it is in Australia, but I know that we're concentrating a whole month in the south of Australia and in Tasmania. We're going to Tasmania as well.
Where was the best place you ever performed?
Ooh, let's think about that. I have one very memorable concert that I loved, and that was one summer when I was going out to Glastonbury, England to perform at the Goddess Conference. The Chalice Well Gardens hired me to do a full moon candlelit concert in the gardens itself. So there I was in the Chalice Well Gardens under the full moon with like tea lights all lit up around. I had, you know, maybe 60 people at this concert, and to me that was just a really beautiful and amazing place to perform. Another time, I was invited by the Dragon Ritual Drummers, who are a drum troupe from Ontario and good friends of mine. I've done some recording with and lots of performance with. They invited me to Salem to join them for the public ritual on the Salem Commons in Salem, Massachusetts. And we did, it was the first time that a pagan ritual had ever been done on the Commons in Salem. And that to me was incredibly powerful, because these are the Commons where the trials happened, the witchcraft trials happened at the Commons. And those women who were branded witches and hung, they were basically marched from the Commons to the gallows. So as we were doing our ritual, I realized halfway through where we were and what it meant and how powerful it was to be doing our work there on these commons in Salem. It was almost like reclaiming it back for those unfortunate women who were hung for witchcraft, who probably weren't even witches. But to me, that was another really powerful place that I was able to sing. And we did a chant to the ancestors with about 500 people. Very, very powerful.
Do you prefer the intimate settings or the big concerts?
Oh, I love them all. I'm very partial to the intimate settings because when I do my performance, I do a lot of storytelling. And I tell the stories of the songs or the myths. And the intimate shows seem to translate really well when you're doing that sort of thing. But I've performed for hundreds and hundreds of people and had amazing experiences. So I could perform for 5 people or 5,000. It doesn't matter to me either way.
I listened to 2 of your albums today, and I think that I sensed an evolving of some sort. How has your music evolved since you started playing the goddess music?
Well, my first 4 albums were all dedicated to paganism and the gods and goddesses. My 5th album, which I just released a few weeks ago, was a collection of traditionals, and some of those songs are 400 or 500 years old. And I think I've just gotten really a lot better at actual production. I think the first 4 albums, the themes are the same, you know, talking about the myths and the gods and goddesses. And let's see, Elemental was my 3rd album, and that one is strictly a percussion and chant album. I put that one out so people, you know, so people could be using those chants in their rituals and ceremonies. The other, Lady Moon, I Walk with the Goddess, and the Ancient Ones are all a mix of song and chant. Elemental is strictly chant, and the 5th one, Traditions, is more like folk songs.
Hang around, we'll be right back.
Will you soothe me? Will you comfort me? Will you catch me when I fall? Will you rock me? Oh,
You're listening to Meet the Bands on All Things Pagan Radio, and I'm your host, Linda Ursin. Today I'm talking to Kellianna. So what's next after Australia?
After Australia, I come to New England, and I'm usually stay home for the winter, and I don't really head back out on the road until spring. I'll do some local shows here, and I will be writing a book this winter.
What's it about?
The book is going to be on my first album, which is The Lady Moon is the album. I have a song on there called Warrior Queen, and it's loosely based on Norse mythology and the Valkyries. I actually tell the story there's a queen who dies in battle, and I'm telling the stories about her death, basically. So what I want to do is write the story of her life before this moment when she dies in battle. I've had so many people who have been so curious about the song and the character in the song that it has inspired me to tell her whole story. So I have a publisher, my friend Devin Hunter in California, who is putting me with a co-writer, and we're going to write a book or maybe a series of books about the Warrior Queen. And I've never written a book in my life. Let me tell you, I've written short stories and I've done a lot of writing, but I've never written a book. But I'm like, why not? You know, I spent the last 10 winters of my life in the recording studio. I figured that I might take this winter off from recording and see what I can't do about putting the Warrior Queen story out there as a book.
Yeah, I'm going to have to read that. I'm a heathen. So I have a very close connection to the Norse myths.
Right? Oh, yeah. And so do I. I mean, my ancestry all across the board is very much Norse, and yeah, it really speaks to me as well. And I've been performing that song Warrior Queen for 10 years, and every single time I sing it, I get the chills over my entire body. So it's just a powerful story, a powerful connection for me.
Yeah. So what's your future vision for your music, your dream?
Oh, I don't know. I just kind of hope I keep on keeping on. I have great response from my fans internationally with my music, and the music sales online are fantastic. So I'm hoping to just keep making great albums that speak to this genre that I'm in, and speak to the people who are practicing pagans and witches, really understand my music. I have every intention to continue making CDs. I've already have a couple of songs for the next pagan album, so I'll be working on, besides writing the book, I'll be working on, putting together ideas for songs and chants to go on the next album. I'd love, you know what my big dream is, really? I'd love to get, like, a major movie soundtrack somehow, like some of my music to get into some magical movie out there in Hollywood or in Europe. I would love a soundtrack or a track, some sort of song on a soundtrack. So I'm putting that out there. Why not, right? Lorena McKenna can do it. Why not me?
Yeah, make the fans recommend it for every pagan movie they come across.
Exactly. Why not, right? I said, like, if Lorena McKenna could do the Myths of Avalon, then why couldn't I do some of this stuff,
Yeah.
So that is a dream of mine, actually, to do a major movie soundtrack.
Yeah, that would be great.
It would.
How can fans gain access to your music? Do you have a website?
I do. My website is Kellianna.com, and it's Kellianna. My stuff is very easy to find online. If you purchase stuff from iTunes or Amazon MP3 or any of that stuff, you just search Kellianna and my music will come up. There is a website that I have, and it's my Bandcamp website, so it's www.kellianna.bandcamp.com. And on this website, you can actually hear all 5 of my albums for free, full tracks, not just clips. So if people want to sample the music and check it out before they buy, they can actually go to my Bandcamp site and hear everything on there, all 5 albums.
And that's a great thing.
It is wonderful. I love Bandcamp for that. I have a Reverb Nation profile. I'm on CD Baby, and all the streaming radio. You can find this stuff everywhere. It's accessible. Just Google Kellianna. You can find anything you're looking for that way.
Yeah. Do you use social media to share your music?
I do. I'm very, very active on Facebook. I've got a couple profiles going on, and my music page, Kellianna. So you also search Kellianna on Facebook, and you will find me. And the great thing about Facebook is that I do special song giveaways. Almost on each holiday, I'll usually, offer a free download of a track, and I'll pick a track that's, a song that's kind of pertinent to whatever holiday, and I'll say, okay, from now until midnight, free downloads of such and such a song. So that's something special that I do only on Facebook. So my Facebook friends and fans get the benefit of, free music from connecting with me on Facebook.
Well, that's a great gift to give. Do you think the internet has changed how music is made, produced?
Without a doubt. I mean, independent artists such as myself do not need a record label to promote and get their music out there. As far as I'm concerned, a record label would have no idea how to market my music. I mean, I don't think that they know, where the pagans are and where to find them and how to, get, my music to magical-minded people. I know how to do that. I mean, I'm very good at that. I actually could probably...
If they at all know what a pagan is.
Yeah, exactly. If they had any clue at all what I'm talking about. And when I say pagan, I'm talking any magical-minded person. I'm not trying to label anything. It's just a general term to use for people who are into Wicca, witchcraft, heathenry, whatever your tradition is. And I do not discriminate as far as tradition. We're all magical people. We all come from different ancestries and have different influences. And in my mind, every single one is perfectly okay and wonderfully acceptable. And my music bridges all of that, I think.
Another plus about being able to be independent is that they can't tell you what to do.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, they would have no idea what it is I'm doing and why. I know what people in our world are going to like because it speaks to me as well. Because I've been on this path for 23 years. So I think if the story or a ceremony or something inspires me, then others are going to be inspired by it as well. And I don't want to compromise. I don't want to water anything down and make it all pop and radio, ready. I don't care about any of that. I want to do powerful, powerful music that helps to transform somebody's maybe ritual or ceremony into something even, more cohesive by introducing a nice chant that everybody can do together. And, I never want to sell out or water that down.
The chanting also has a connection to the Norse tradition with the Maid. I don't know if you heard of the shamanic practice of Scandinavia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a practitioner myself, so I really resonate with a couple of those chants because they can take you away, take you on a journey.
Absolutely, and in every single, that's what they're designed for. And that drum and chant is present in every single tradition around the globe. I mean, from our Native American and indigenous songs here, and to the Middle East, and to, Greece, and just, I mean, the drum just translates across, and add your voice to that. Chanting is a vehicle. It takes us from the mundane place into that other realm where magic happens, and it's a tool to bring us to that place of magic. And every time I pick up a drum and start chanting, I go right there.
Yeah, that's the only difference up here is that they don't have any evidence of drums, but we did have the chanting.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think the only thing they have that resembles a drum was something made of brass. But those materials wouldn't survive in this soil anyways. That they haven't found it doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't exist.
Sure. I know that in Sweden that there are some, there seem to be some drums, skin drums and things like that. I don't know how old it is or if it's a recent phenomena. Yeah,
the Sami had drums. They still do.
Exactly. And to me, when I listen to music from Sami, to me it is like listening to music from the Cherokee or the Lakota here in the States. I cannot see a difference at all. To me, it's almost the same exact thing. It's an incredible bridge of music and style.
I think they emanated from sort of the same region and then spread one way or the other.
I would think so.
Yeah. So, do you have any message you want to get out into the world?
I think that to sing and to chant is a really joyful way to celebrate our holidays and our culture and beliefs. And I've found that the energy raised when a circle of song, when many people join their voices to become one voice, I have found that this is some of the most powerful energy to use in manifesting intention. And I really encourage people to use a lot of chanting in their rituals and ceremonies. It really brings people together. And I think that it's a powerful tool for unity within our world here. So sing, sing, sing. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it can also act as a great energy release, both for emotions, but also if you're feeling kind of stuck.
Oh, there's no doubt about it, because you think about what a sound is. A wave, it's a vibration. So when people are physically singing, there's a vibration that goes all along your chakra line. So if you're trying to break free and release anything inside of you, it is a fantastic way to do it. Use the sound wave and that vibration of song to help you move things along that might be feeling stuck inside of you, such as blocks or, things that your fears and things like that. I think it's a way to blast through all of that and find a real, true place of joy and purity inside of yourself.
Yeah. Thanks again for talking to me, Kellianna. I wish you the best of luck with your music.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate the support. I truly do.
Can I remember my name as I lay on the battlefield and hear the war drums? I died here with honor today. A warrior queen with my sword by my side. I can't remember the names of these men as I cover my body with furs. Now I am floating up over the land, leaving my body below. Now they will carry me home through the mountains and groves to the land of my birth. They will make me a funeral pyre where my bones turn to dust and my flesh turns to fire. Then to Valhalla I'll go to gaze on the face of my king and my sons. There'll be a feast laid for me, warrior queen with a Valkyrie shield. I watch them carry me over the lands, on through the fields and the farms. People are waiting to watch me pass by. Look now, our queen's coming home. Now they are carrying me home through the mountains